Gentleman yields back. For what purpose does Mr. Massie seek recognition?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I wish to speak on the amendment.
The gentleman is recognized.
Well, the Democrats, I don't know if they're just in willful ignorance of what happens in this country or they're being deceptive today, but I would like to introduce into the record a list of cases where concealed handgun permit holders have likely stopped mass public shootings. This is from crimeresearch.org. It was published May 27th, 2022.
Without objection.
I'll read from this list, and I'm going to run out of time, but I'll try to make each of these summaries brief because there are dozens of instances. Even though the media doesn't want to report them, sometimes they get reported. Just this week, last week, May 25th, 2022, Charleston, West Virginia. Here, a man with an extensive criminal history started firing an AR-15 style firearm into a crowd. Fortunately, a woman who was legally carrying a gun was there to stop the attack. She shot the attacker. It ended before anybody got hurt. South Fulton, Georgia, May 3rd, 2022. A teenager started firing his gun at multiple people. There was a large number of people present at the park because of an anti-violence riot. South Fulton, Georgia, this comes from a news report. Meadows said, the men involved in the shootout with Hambrick have been cooperative and will likely not be charged since the teenager fired the first shot. After having reviewed most of the witnesses' statements, it appears that the descendant, Mr. Hambrick, discharged his weapon first, and as a result of that, there was an exchange of gunfire between him and two individuals, good guys with the gun. Portland, Oregon, February 19th, 2022. Homeowner allegedly confronted participants at a racial justice demonstration Saturday night before pulling out a handgun and shooting multiple people in the crowd, leaving one woman dead and several others injured. The shooting ended when a person with the group of demonstrators who is licensed to conceal carry a firearm fired back, striking the homeowner in the hip. Again, a good guy with a gun stops the shooting. Lancaster, Pennsylvania, October 17th, 2021. On Sunday, October 17th, 4 people were injured after a fight between two teenagers at Lancaster Park. City Center Mall escalated into a shooting this past weekend. A 16-year-old who was illegally carrying a gun started the shooting, but it could have been much worse were it not for concealed handgun permit holder. A bystander armed with a gun intervened in the shooting one of the participants. The unidentified bystander who legally possessed the firearm had heard gunshots related to the fight between two males that knew each other, police said. The bystander remained on the scene until security and police arrived. Syracuse, New York, August 31st, 2021. The district attorney credited a property manager with saving the lives of several individuals after he pulled out a legally possessed 9mm handgun, the very gun that Joe Biden wants to ban, and fatally wounded a man who opened fire on a crowd outside a building. San Antonio, Texas, August 11, 2021. A woman who crashed into a parked car in San Antonio's West Side neighborhood climbed out of her vehicle and began shooting indiscriminately at people who came out of their homes and rushed to aid her. The armed resident fired back and shot the driver to death, ending the violent threat to the neighborhood. And that was a good guy with a gun, or good gal with a gun sometimes. Fort Myers, Florida, July 22nd, 2021. A man who was a convicted felon and illegally possessing a gun fired multiple shots into a crowd before a bystander returned fire. When the bystander confronted the attacker, he stopped attacking and threw his gun in a parking lot. Fortunately, no one was injured in the attack. Chicago, Illinois, July 4th, 2021. It seems likely that if the concealed handgun permit holder hadn't intervened in this case, there would have been at least 3 deaths instead of just the one woman. Arvada, Colorado, June 21st, 2021. The attacker and 2 other people were killed in this attack. A good Samaritan who was killed in a shooting in Alvarado, Colorado. He did not hesitate. He didn't stand there and think about it. He totally heard the gunfire, went to the door, saw the shooter, and immediately ran in that direction. I just want to make sure his family knows how heroic he was. Toronto said he witnessed Hurley confront the gunman. Mr. Hurley shot him. I think I heard 6 shots from his gun, maybe 5. Police chief said Hurley is a true hero who likely disrupted what could have been a larger loss of life. I'm running out of time, but Fort Smith, Arkansas, May 15th, 2021, Zachary Arnold, 26, fatally shot Lois Hicks, 87, in her apartment, then began shooting at other people in neighborhood apartments. Wallace A. West, 58, used a rifle, not a concealed handgun, to stop the attack. Metairie, Louisiana, February 20th, 2021, having murdered 2 people and wounded a couple of others. It's clear that the attacker intended to kill as many people as possible. The quick response by people with concealed handgun permits stopped the attack. I could go on forever. I'm submitting this document. Hopefully my colleagues who sit here and keep saying that a good guy with a gun never stops a bad guy with a gun will read this document. Thank you, and I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. For what purposes